Hey, what's up, guys? It's MugenLord here, and today I want to talk about Sony. Yes, we talk about Sony once again. They always pop it up in the media because some of the decisions they make just make you scratch your head, and sometimes they make some decisions that, okay, I can get behind this at times, you know? But what's going on with Sony? Well, apparently there's an exec within Sony that predicts that studios are going to start going away and shifting away from graphics, but instead go into immersive narratives. And I'm all on board with that. And I wonder why this shift is going to happen. So before we even dive into this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. So we're going to dive right into it when it comes to this article at VGC. So apparently PlayStation Exec predicts focus will shift from graphics to immersive narrative. Technological advancements would enhance emotional depths in game over the next decade. So it says top PlayStation executive has predicted that technological advances in gaming will see the shift from graphics or visuals to immersive narratives over the coming decades. Sony used to use its corporate strategy meeting on Thursday to present its creative entertainment visions, which it describes as its long-term visions for where it wants to be in 10 years. With an eye towards the future technological advances. In an interview published to coincide with today's event, Asad, the head of PlayStation production and head of product at PlayStation Studios, was asked to provide his prediction for where gaming is headed. In terms of gaming's future, I envision games becoming more personalized due to the advance of technology and AI, enabling customized experience for each player, he said. So yes, AI, man. We've been talking about it here since 2023 and early of this year as well in 2024, that a lot of developers are looking into AI. We also talked about how AI will be helping with coding and programming, which will also reduce time spent on programming these games as well. But AI, and the fact is that they want players to be able to customize the experience to actually tailor it to fit them. I think that would be interesting, and that would be somewhat of an immersive way. I mean, they're already talking about that with movies as well, where you can get a different experience utilizing AI to be able to get the movie experience that you want. So it makes sense that the gaming industry will also follow up on this technology. But let's continue. So it says, moreover, technological advances will enhance emotional depth in games by allowing characters to be much more emotive and expressive, fostering more evocative stories. That's going to help a whole generation of creators to be able to just create so much more emotion in the stories. The focus is going to shift from graphics or visuals to immersive narratives that resonate long after the controller is set down. Now, look, I already dealt with games like this before, like that immersive narrative, you know? Like I said, playing Final Fantasy VII back in the day, Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy Tactics, Suikoden, and the list goes on and on, where, especially Yakuza Like a Dragon, man, once I put the controller down, man, I like, it was in Xenoblade Chronicles, it was just like, wow, it was just one hell of an experience, and it also made me think. And that's how you can tell it's a good narrative and a good story and great characters, is where you're still wondering what the characters are doing even after the credits roll. I wonder what they're doing in that world right now. And you look forward to seeing them again. That's why it gets so emotional when you do see a sequel, you see these characters. It's like reuniting with old friends or family members or loved ones when you see these characters. So there's nothing new, but they're talking as if that this is going to expand upon that, especially with the technology to make the characters much more emotive, more expressive and everything. And I think that's actually pretty cool. But as far as that's concerned, in order for that to work, the narrative has to be good. It has to be really good. So it says Kubash, who's tasked with transforming PlayStation's gaming brands into global entertainment franchises, also said AI will enable the creation of more personalized experience and meaningful storytelling. So it says, for instance, NPCs, non-playable characters in games, could interact with players based on their actions, making it feel more personal. I mean, we have stuff like that in games, you know, decision-based, depending on the decisions that you make. So I'm guessing that with AI, it'd be more in real time. So meaning that instead of making a decision that later comes back and bites you in the ass, or later has a ripple effect on how NPCs see you, it'll be more so right then and there, depending on what you're doing in front of the NPC, or at that moment, they will respond much differently to you. So each player will have a unique experience. I think that's the fun part about video games, is where you play a video game, right? And you and your friends all play the same game. And when the story is that immersive, or when the characters are that unique and the gameplay is so innovative, or is so expansive to where you're able to create your own style and you have that freedom as a gamer. I love when me and my friends, or when you and your friends come together and you guys have completely different experiences in terms of how you interpret the story or how you approach certain gameplay mechanics, which I always love having those discussions when it comes to that. And with AI, I think also AI can definitely improve upon that when it comes to characters, like interactions with NPCs, and how certain things as far as the story or missions could go based on your actions as a player, and the AI will calculate all that and examine all that and then shift your mission or throw a roadblock in your way that's completely different from the other player's experience. So your player experience is completely unique, you know, compared to somebody else's experience. I think that'd be pretty cool, where, you know, you talk to your friends and say, hey, did you go down to this area and then I fought this boss? Well, I didn't fight this boss, or this person didn't respond this way to me because I did this. I think that would also make that a fun experience, and I think that will also bring back increased replayability, because you want to try something much different to get a much different result, which in terms also impact how the game is going to respond to you and your gameplay experience in general. But I think that narrative should be more important, and I think graphics and narrative should balance each other out. Let me put it that way. But I think that we live in this era to where graphics is just superseding everything. How realistic that we can make these games, and I think that's what the problem is. I miss the day of aesthetic art styles. You know, is an art style that's unique to that game, and it resonates with the players, because every time you see that character, you can recognize that character based on its unique art style that it has for that brand, for that IP. And we have lost, and I talked about this on my stream, how when it comes to video games, video games aren't video games no more. They don't look like video games anymore. These people are starting to look like everyday people that you can walk outside in the street and see, or whatever like that. And it kind of like, it breaks that immersion, because now you're blending in reality with video games, where video games you're supposed to be removed from reality and get lost in these characters and these worlds and everything. We starting to lose that, and I miss the day of the mascot or the cartoon characters. You know, we still have Sonic, and we still have Mega Man and Mario and Crash Bandicoot, but we used to have a bunch of that, and especially we had specific games where a character had a unique outfit that you knew it was a video game. You know, now today everybody's wearing, you know, slacks, cargo pants, and a shirt, or everybody's always wearing body armor with a helmet on, or a spacesuit. No one looks like a distinct character from a game. You know, if people don't know, if people aren't gamers and see these characters, they wouldn't think it's from a game. They would think it's from something else. You know, because none of these characters are that distinct that you can just point out, because every character back in the day had a unique clothing, unique art style that resonated with that character and resonated with you as a player. And I think we really need to get back there, and I think game developers need to get back to creating unique art styles and just in creating unique narratives that people can resonate with and can stand the test of times. This is the reason why Nintendo's IP lasts this long, because these characters stick in your head because they were video game characters. They weren't trying to strive for realism. And you can look at a lot of Nintendo games today, they still don't really have IPs that's aiming to be like Horizon Zero Dawn, you know, or anything of that sort that's out right now, or Starfield and everything. Nintendo is a video game company. Everything about them says video game, you know, and we need to get back to that point. But overall, man, I think, you know, them predicting this, it makes sense. I mean, gaming is never going to stay the same, you know, for long. It's always going to shift. And when you talk about the next decade, and the next decade, Jesus, I would be like, what, 46? I'll be 46 in the next decade. Close to damn near 50. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine what gaming would be like even then. And hopefully, you know, the gaming industry resets before then, before we even get to that point. But anyway, if you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe button for more gaming content here on this channel. And as always, I always appreciate you guys for sticking through with me from beginning to end and watch my channel grow. So, MugenLord, sign off. I'll see you Game Fiends later. Peace out.